What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for July 24th, 2023. We still have zero updates on 320, where it is, and when we're going to get it. CitizenCon is showing that it's going to be very different than any other CitizenCon in the past, and it's time we hear about where we are with PES and where we're going in the near future. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, every day but Monday, starting around 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, all of the official things is very small this week, so we're going to start out with kind of a little bit around 320, a little discussion around it. So I really don't have a lot to say other than we know it's still in Evocati testing. 320 is still kind of going through the motions, but, you know, we haven't really seen a patch watch. We haven't seen any information from the community or the marketing teams around the idea of this patch going live anytime soon. And, well, I would say that it's a little bit concerning given that we've been about 3 months since the last patch. So I think it was May 16th was when 319 went live. We're kind of a few weeks away from the 16th of August. That would be about 3 months at that point. So you would expect to at least be in a full Evocati cycle, Wave 1 PTU by that point, we would hope. But it's not looking bright given that they're not even marketing it at the moment right now. So, like, this is one, I know the summers are dead for Star Citizen in terms of, like, what's going on, but this is, like, dead. Like, we normally have a patch that's being worked on, you know, not just nothing. And that's really what this week was. So I'll keep you updated as much as I can on 320, but that's all we got. And I don't even think we're in a full Evocati 320 yet. I think it's still just, like, little Arena Commander playtests and things. So, oof. And another oof was the video content this week. Star Citizen Live was one of those episodes where they just kind of goofed around and didn't really, you know, provide much value in terms of updates for the game. So, you know, Jared went through it a couple times, like, this is what it's like in this time of year and all that stuff. Now, I will say that I watched the episode. I thought it was fun to watch. Like, it did give some value from that standpoint. It was an enjoyable watch if I was, you know, just didn't really have anything better to watch or something like that, right? But if I was looking for actual, you know, news around Star Citizen or discussion around it, obviously these type of episodes don't really provide that. Now, what this did make me think of was last week. Last week was pre-recorded either the day before or the morning of. Why can't they do that at some point during the week? Why can't they do that more often? I thought that episode was perfectly fine. They took community questions on their forums. Obviously, they couldn't take them live from the Twitch chat, but I thought that episode was great. So that's really how I'm feeling about the live content now, is that it's been severely lacking over the last, like, year or so in terms of what they're actually delivering in terms of information, not from production value or anything like that. I think it's been a lot better. But the idea of what they're delivering, if you can't work with the developers live, well, you can record it live, you know, like late night shows. That's obviously what he's going for here. You can clearly see his style is going for a late show style. Well, guess what? Late shows are recorded live during the day in front of a live audience. They don't start at midnight, right? So, yeah, I think that maybe we should start doing that more and providing a much more crisp and clear and really good info for the backers. And I think that would be great. That's just my feelings there. Let me know what you guys think in the description down below. And then we'll move on to other updates where that's kind of what the meat was from this week. And it's still like a chicken wing. So the sneak peek was, I think, the 4th time that we've seen the Tumbril Storm, something like that. And yeah, again, if you don't know what it is, it's just a tank with a laser that really doesn't bring any value to the persistent universe from what I can see, other than not having to reload ammo, maybe, and have a tank. But I haven't seen many reasons to have tanks or ground vehicles too often, other than for roleplay or to try and make things feel a little bit more interesting. But it still always makes sense to bring a ship over that number. But anyway, that is the 4th time they've shown it, and it's not really anything. It doesn't feel like a sneak peek to me. The sneak peeks, in my opinion, have been like really not good lately. CitizenCon update. Now, this is really interesting. I was able to participate in one of these. This is the Fight or Flight tournament, and I really enjoyed it. I think I did it a year ago, something like that, maybe 2 years ago. And it was, I mean, you know how 2020 to 2023 kind of has been. It's flown, but I had so much fun in this tournament, and I think anyone who was able to sign up, you're going to have a really good time too, as signups have now ended as of the recording of this video. But the interesting thing here is that they're going to do an at-home tournament that brings us to the Final Four. And the Final Four, it's a 2v2 atmospheric dogfighting tournament, okay? So the Final Four is going to bring us 8 players. They're then going to split those 8 players up to team up with 8 content creators at CitizenCon and have a now 8-team tournament. So, yeah, I think that's kind of weird. That's the only thing that I'm like, wait, what? Because, you know, when I participated, I picked my teammate, and the tournament up to that point, you chose your teammate, right? And you worked really hard to get to where you were, just to get split up, and now you're competing against them. So that's an interesting wrinkle, a weird one in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about it. But what I will take away from this is that CitizenCon content is going to be more stuff like this. You can call it filler content. Listen, the tournament's super fun. It was super fun to watch. I've watched the other ones as well, but it is not the traditional Star Citizen content, and that is not about the game or anything like that. Maybe they showcase master modes or something like that, but that is about it in terms of like anything new or anything interesting that might come out of the tournament. Now, the one thing I was expecting to talk about heavily this week was the postmortem, as they talked about it in This Week in Star Citizen. We didn't get a postmortem. Now, what a postmortem is after 3, and this is going to be the 318, 319 postmortem of, because the 318 is 319, they're the same branch. And it's supposed to be, hey, these are the things we messed up. This is how we're not going to make those mistakes again. This is where we are with PES. These are the mistakes we made. These are the mistakes we're not going to make again, and this is how we're not going to make them again. This is what we're doing moving forward. So everything that I've wanted to hear about PES over the last few months is basically has an opportunity to be in this postmortem. Now, previous postmortems, certain teams just wrote it like it was a monthly report, and this is what we worked on, and that's it. And some teams really said, these are the mistakes we made, and this is how we're going to fix them. That's what a postmortem is. That's my expectation. And the only thing I care about there is about PES, because it is the biggest factor of the instability and problems and issues that we've dealt with. And yeah, would just love to see and hear what they have to say about it and where we're going over the next quarter and the quarter after that. You know, it's all going to be baby steps. We understand that, but I want to be communicated those baby steps as they're happening. I want to know what's happening all the time with this, because it makes it easier to deal with the problems in the current patch when you know where you're going. We sort of know where we're going, where they're going to separate the replication layer and there's more steps. But are we even are we reaching those steps yet? Have we gotten out of the PES stability problems? It feels like not. So I'd love to hear more about it and all of that. Now with that, that's it. That's it for today's episode. There was not a lot this week. I don't expect that much next week. We do have an ISC, but Jared made it sound like it was very much a game dev ISC like the SCL, so I don't think it's going to be too exciting or interesting to go over. Fingers crossed that I'm wrong there, but yeah, that is it for this episode. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next week. And yeah, Star Citizen right now. Whew. I'm having more fun playing it than I ever have, but the direction it's going is so hard to tell because there's like no communication. This is like the deadest week I think I've ever seen Star Citizen in my entire life.